In the shadows of modern history, few names evoke as much fear, mystery, and controversy as Osama bin Laden. For over a decade, he was the world's most wanted man, the elusive figurehead of a global jihadist movement. But beyond the headlines and the infamy lies a complex story, filled with unexpected details and surprising turns. Today, we peel back the layers of the myth to uncover 10 things you probably didn't know about Osama bin Laden. This is not a story of justification, but one of historical inquiry, seeking to understand the man behind the symbol. First, let's go back to his early life. Osama bin Laden was born into immense wealth. His father, Mohammed bin Awad bin Laden, was a self-made construction magnate who founded the Saudi Bin Laden Group, one of the largest construction firms in the world. The family was incredibly close to the Saudi royal family, and Mohammed had over 50 children from at least 22 wives. Osama was the 17th of these children. Growing up, he was described as quiet, pious, and well-mannered, enjoying a life of privilege that included luxury cars and vacations across the West. It was a world far removed from the austere caves he would later inhabit. Second, his path to militancy was not immediate. In the late 1970s, bin Laden was a university student studying business and economics in Jeddah. His early passion wasn't warfare, but poetry. He wrote and recited poems, often with romantic or sentimental themes. However, the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979 became a pivotal turning point. Galvanized by the call to defend a Muslim land against foreign invaders, the young, wealthy Saudi traveled to Pakistan and Afghanistan. This decision would fundamentally alter the course of his life and, eventually, the course of world history. Third, in Afghanistan, he was initially not a frontline fighter. Instead, he used his family's wealth and connections to fund and organize the Arab volunteers flocking to join the Afghan Mujahideen. He established a guest house in Peshawar, Pakistan, called Maktab al-Khidmat, or the Services Office, which served as a recruitment and logistics hub for foreign fighters. He leveraged his skills in administration and construction, building roads and storage tunnels for the Mujahideen. His role was more of a financier and organizer than a battlefield commander in those early years. Fourth, his relationship with the United States was, for a brief period, one of indirect alignment. During the Cold War, the U.S. funneled billions of dollars in weapons and aid to the Afghan Mujahideen through Pakistan's intelligence services to fight the Soviets. While there is no credible evidence of direct contact or funding between the CIA and bin Laden himself, they shared a common enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, as the saying goes. This irony is a stark reminder of how geopolitical alliances can shift, with today's allies becoming tomorrow's bitter foes. Fifth, bin Laden's break with his home country, Saudi Arabia, was profound. When Saddam Hussein's Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1990, bin Laden offered his network of Arab-Afghan veterans to the Saudi monarchy to defend the kingdom. He was outraged when the royal family instead chose to allow hundreds of thousands of U.S. troops to be stationed on Saudi soil, the land of Islam's holiest sites. He saw this as a profound betrayal, a desecration of sacred land by foreign infidels. This event cemented his turn against both the Saudi regime and its powerful American ally. Sixth, after being expelled from Saudi Arabia for his public criticism, he found refuge in Sudan. From 1992 to 1996, bin Laden lived in Khartoum, where he was welcomed by the Islamist government. There, he once again invested in infrastructure, building roads and investing in businesses. He established a network of training camps and continued to build his organization, which he now called Al-Qaeda, or the base. It was during his time in Sudan that Al-Qaeda began to evolve from a network supporting the Afghan jihad into a global organization with its own violent agenda. Seventh, he was not always the lean, bearded figure seen in his final videos. During his time in Sudan, he was a family man and a businessman. Photos from this era show a different person, often clean-shaven or with a neatly trimmed beard, wearing suits and overseeing his various business enterprises. He lived with his wives and children in a substantial compound in a wealthy neighborhood of Khartoum. This period represents a key transition, as he balanced his life as a wealthy expatriate with his clandestine activities as the leader of a burgeoning terrorist group. 8th, Bin Laden had a deep fascination with technology and media. Despite his austere ideology, he was a savvy user of modern communications. He understood the power of the 24-hour news cycle and meticulously crafted his video and audio messages for a global audience. Al-Qaeda's media wing, as-Sahab, became a sophisticated propaganda machine using the internet and satellite television to spread his message, recruit followers, and claim responsibility for attacks. He turned terror into a form of global theater, ensuring his actions would receive maximum exposure. 9th, he was on the FBI's radar long before the September 11th attacks. Al-Qaeda was linked to the 1993 World Trade Center bombing and was directly responsible for the 1998 bombings of U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania. Following these attacks, Osama bin Laden was placed on the FBI's list of 10 most wanted fugitives. The U.S. government launched missile strikes against his camps in Afghanistan and offered a multi-million-dollar reward for his capture. The decade leading up to 2001 was a long, escalating conflict, not a sudden eruption of violence. Finally, the 10th point concerns his final years. After the U.S. invasion of Afghanistan in late 2001, bin Laden escaped the mountains of Tora Bora and went into deep hiding. For nearly a decade, his whereabouts were a complete mystery. The documents seized from his compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, revealed a man who was isolated but still trying to micromanage his global network. He was a voracious reader, with a collection of books that included works by American political critics and conspiracy theorists. He lived in a state of constant paranoia, a ghost-like figure detached from the world he had sought to change so violently until the final raid that ended his life. From a wealthy Saudi youth to the world's most hunted man, the life of Osama bin Laden is a journey through the seismic shifts of our time, the Cold War and the rise of global jihad and the dawn of the war on terror. Understanding these lesser-known facets of his life doesn't excuse his actions, but it provides crucial context for the historical forces that shaped him and the world we live in today. Thank you for watching. If you found this exploration insightful, please like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into modern history.